Today we are going to do end of year Math 51. This is the course code. The first topic is trigonometry. Let me just write the rule over here, which is so ka toa. So for any right angle triangle, first of all you will have to see where is the theta. Theta is like x for trigonometry, for angles. So opposite to this angle, always you will have the side opposite. The largest side will be opposite to 90 always, which is called hypotenuse. And the final side is called adjacent, which is next to theta. Now, sohka toa, so this means that sine theta is equal to opposite divided by h. This means that cosine theta is equal to a divided by h. And this means that tan theta is equal to o divided by a. Now, these are set rules. The opposite of sine is cosec theta, which will be just flip of it, which is h over o. Opposite of cosine is sec theta, which will be h over a. And the opposite of tan is cot theta, which will be a over o. So you don't have to remember much, it's just flip of these quantities. Now, for example, the first question, which is about cosine d. So when someone is talking about d, the angle d would be your theta. The side opposite would be called opposite. This is hypotenuse and this is adjacent. Now you can use any of the sides. So, but they want cosine. So cosine d equals. So out of SOHCAHTOA, cosine has a and h. So I will use a and h. Adjacent divided by hypotenuse, which means 5 over 13. And that is your answer. Same ways, if I go to number 2, sine A, cosine A, cot A. So this side would be opposite. This side would be hypotenuse. This side would be adjacent. So when I'm saying sine A, that will be so ka to. Second one would be A divided by H. The third one would be O divided by A. However, if you look at tan, this is about angle B. So now the opposite would be this. H is this. And this side would be A. Just for this. If you see carefully, this is actually cot. So for cot, we will use A over O rule. I'm sorry for the error. Like for example, here I have to find theta. So I'll use cosine theta equals, this is opposite, this is H. So we are using ka, so ka toa, which is A divided by H. We don't have the A. So to find A, we have to use Pythagoras theorem. You will take it here. Because O is 2. When you remove the square, this will be square root, which will give you square root 32. Um, Square root 32 would be 4 root 2. So you will substitute the values here. 4 root 2 divided by 6. You can divide both by 2. So you will get 2 root 2 divided by 3, which is the answer. So we had to use Pythagoras theorem first, and then we solved it. So I hope it is clear. So all these questions are same. This one might be slightly different. So they are looking for the value of g. This angle is given. So this side would be opposite. This side would be h. If I'm trying to find g out of so ka to, I need, what I have is o and h. So this rule doesn't have OH, so I'll be using sine 60 O divided by H. You will take 20 up. When you solve it, you will get 10 root 3. Then you will get the answer. So I hope this is clear. Now, same ways, this question, we need to find this. So opposite would be this. This side would be adjacent. Sort of so ka toa. Which one has O and A? I'll use 10. O, which is 9. A is 5. Now you can put this in calculator and get the answer. You can take tan to the other side. It becomes tan inverse 5, which is shift tan on calculator. When you solve it, you will get approximately 61 as your answer. Same ways you can solve the other questions. Now we are going to do law of sines and cosines. So I'm gonna just add a page here and first write down the rules. Now see, when we are talking about law of sine, it applies to a non-90 triangle as well. So for any triangle, if this angle is A, this side is A, B, this side is B, and C, this side is C. So all you have to do is A divided by sine A, B divided by sine B. You will use any two of them at once. You will not use both of them, all three of them. So this is law of sines. You can also write it in reverse form, like you can write it like sine A divided by A, sine B divided by B, and sine C divided by C. It's all up to you how you want to write it down. Now the second part is law of cosines, which might be a bit tricky, but it's still the same triangle like before. This is A, this is B, this is C. The sides are A, B, C. So related to the Pythagoras theorem, for example, if you're doing A square, B square plus C square, this is what Pythagoras theorem looks like. Subtract 2BC cosine A. If in case you're doing B square, then everything else would be same. It's just at the end you will write B. And same ways, following the cyclic property, you can also do it this way. Now maybe the question might ask you to find the angle. In that case, I'll use the equation first. You can rearrange things to your benefit. Like you can bring b squared here, c squared here. So it'll be negative 2bc cosine A minus b squared minus c squared. Now you will take negative 2bc on the other side, so it'll go in the division. Capital A, small b doesn't matter as long as you know what you're assigning. The last step would be to put cosine here. So it'll be cosine inverse. Sometimes you will see the small a's, b's, and c's, but it doesn't matter what you write. The most important part out of all these are basically one rule and the last one. You don't need to remember the last one because if you know the first green one, you can figure out the last green one. Now let's have a look at the examples. And one more thing. For example, as soon as you remove the square, there'll be a square root here. So it applies to all three of them. Now example, if you're talking about 85, the side opposite to it becomes like x. So you'll write x equals 92 squared plus 52 squared minus 2 times 92 times 52 cosine 85. So make sure that if you're taking 85, the opposite side has to be outside. So I hope that is clear. And don't forget to square root the whole thing or square the x. So as you can see, when you solve it, you will get this answer. Same ways, moving on. Like for example here, this is non-90. Can you use cosine rule? No. For cosine rule, you need at least two sides. Here you have only one. So you have to use the sine rule. So opposite to 40, you have 92. What you have to find is BC, which is this. I can find this angle by using the angle sum property, that 180 minus so when you simplify this, you will get 100 minus 45, that's 55. Let me just cross check. Yeah. So this angle is 55 degrees. Now you can use the sine rule. As you have to find x, so keep the sides at the top. So with x, you have to take 55. And for 92, you will write sine 85. When you solve it on the calculator, make sure it's in degrees mode. You will get approximately 117. So all these questions, this one is already solved, one already solved. Like for example here, you don't even have a figure, but if you make a triangle, this is A, this is B, this is C. AB is 7, BC is 8, and AC is 9. Now see, you have three sides, you have to use the cosine rule. So what we need to find is angle B. So this is my target side. So you will do 9 square equals 8 square plus 7 square minus 2 times 8 times 7 cosine theta. Theta means the angle B. Take 8 to this side, take 7 square to this side. And if you remember before, this negative 287 would come in the denominator. So when you take theta to the other side, you will get cosine inverse 9 square minus 8 square minus 7 square. You write this on calculator, you should get the answer, which in this case is 73 approximately. So the next one is solved. So all these questions follow the same procedure. So I will see you in the next part. All these questions are solved. Have fun.